Becky that called me and advised me about this event, and well, she reminded me of a story, and it seems that in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, Ole and Sven died, but they didn't go up there, they went down there. And the devil said, I'd like to welcome you to hell, but you know, it's a very hot place here. Ole says, oh, that's okay, you know, because in Minnesota it's so cold, you don't mind this heat. Well, it's going to get hot, so 10 or 20,000 years later, the devil comes back, and there's Ole and Sven, and they're drinking a cold grain belt beer. Devil says, how's it going? Well, you know, it's a little warm, but we don't mind the heat so much because it's so cold in Minnesota. Devil says, I'm sorry, you don't have the idea. I'm going to have to turn the thermostat up. Turns the thermostat up. The fire and the brimstone are flashing. 10 or 20,000 years later, the devil comes back, and there's Ole and Sven in lawn chairs sipping cold Mai Tais. The devil calls a special meeting of his board and says they don't mind the heat because in Minnesota it's so cold. Well, one of the demons says, I have an idea. Let's give them a Greek hell. Now, hell for the Greeks was a very cold place. Devil said, good idea. Turn the heat off. The dry ice appears, super cold. Ole turns to Sven and says, huh, hell froze over. I guess the Vikings finally won the Super Bowl.
Mr. Earl Bakalars.
I'd just like to thank Rick and Beth for all of their effort. There isn't anyone that's more persistent than these two people, and I'm sure that the whole affair will be successful, largely because of people like this and the whole committee. Thank you.
Miss Ruth Way.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I surely enjoyed my conversations with all of you this evening, and I can tell that there are tremendous success stories. That's a testament to your good Nicolet education. Best wishes for continued success.
Mr. Earl Levin.
It's really very interesting to be among you tonight. I won't mention names, but it gives me hope for mankind that one of the 73 leading radicals is married to a Nicolet host. I won't mention Holtzman, but it's that kind of thing. Earl Bakalars and I were talking in '73. We had a somewhat unpopular war, an energy crisis. And here we are again, and I said to Earl, what the hell were we doing teaching history anyway? It just doesn't seem to make any difference. One thing I need to say, I have run into graduates in the 70s. Nicolet was a unique place in the 70s. A very enjoyable place, a very interesting place. Many of you have asked me about my cohort, John Kessler. John isn't here. If I know John, he's up in his, quote, cabin in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. No indoor plumbing, no electricity. Communing with animals as only John can. And so I will wish you a good evening on his part. Some of you may have seen in the website, I am quite proud of my Scottish heritage and kilt up approximately 24 times a year. So I would like to offer you a toast in the Gaelic. If you see it, it's spelled S-L-A-I-N-T. People keep going slante, but it's really slanja, and it means your health. And slanjava means to all our health. So to you, slanjava.
Thank you so much. Let's just take a little break of about 5 minutes and we'll be back to the entertainment then.
All right.